6 minutes after 9 o'clock, Stanley Spencer bringing us to Carol Ann Baldwin in the studio for In the Garden with Carol Ann. If you have a question about your lawn, your garden, your mulch, your fertilizer, anything associated with gardening, or maybe you don't have a question, maybe you just want to chat with Carol Ann. I love when you guys do that, and I get to sit here and drink my tea and listen to you.
Makes for a nice easy half hour.
It is. I think that's one of the reasons I like this time with you, is because, I don't know, we're just hanging out.
We hang out, have a little interaction. Hopefully the listeners will call in with any gardening, lawn, landscape, bug, vegetable.
It's educational. It's inspirational.
It's therapeutic.
Is it?
Gardening is.
Gardening is.
Gardening
Yeah. I guess it's virtual gardening when you're talking about it. In your mind, you're thinking about it.
Right. You're thinking about either what you're going to get out there and do, or maybe this is your time you're actually taking a break, maybe getting that other cup of coffee because you've been out in the garden a couple hours already.
Yeah.
So you're getting a cup of coffee, a bagel, whatever, and taking it, or you just got it cranked up really loud so you can hear it while you're pulling weeds.
So you remember my 7-coned, what do you call it, sago palms?
Yes.
Sago?
Yeah, sago.
Yeah. Okay. Remember, it was 7 male things.
Oh, that's
came up. I had this huge, and bees were all over it.
Right.
This year, it looks like
again?
Well, no, it's several, but it's like the female part, the leaves.
Right.
That's
that's the.
Is that what they do every other year? One year it's male, next year it's female.
No. The leaves are the leaves. The way to tell a queen sago from a king sago.
Oh.
The queen sago's flower looks like a flattened basketball.
Okay.
A tan, flattened, so not fully round, it's sort of just flattened.
Okay.
And the male is very conical shape.
Very.
Phallic.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
that's why we love it.
That's why it's the king sago. Neither of which are detrimental to the plant. But the other, when you're seeing the fronds come out, that's just the spring.
So they all do that. Of course. That would make sense. What am I thinking, Tom?
But that's just the natural, the new growth. But when they do flower, some people have been led to believe that they give off an odor. They do not. It's not a bad.
Not a bad one.
Right.
But
I'm
you can
just
smell
saying,
it.
it's not it's some people used to, I think they used to mix it up with the voodoo lily.
Ooh.
That the voodoo lily, so when it smells like rotting.
Rotting flesh.
Yeah. And no, the sagos don't. Only thing I will say is if you prune anything off of a sago, if you're working around your sago, get it all cleaned up. It is extremely toxic to pets.
Oh.
And apparently dogs will chew on them. I didn't think, to me, they're spiny, they're pokey.
Yeah.
Why would an animal want to pick one of those things up? But apparently they will. I had a friend one was related to me that someone was playing like fetch or playing tug with their dog with a frond from one.
What?
And it killed the dog. And it was not just a tiny dog.
That's
it was
crazy.
A larger dog. Had another friend recently who had transplanted some sago pups, and the dog had pulled one out of the ground and chewed on a little bit, and he didn't, and he's got it away from him. Of course, hollered at the dog, found out, but boy, this will make him sick, whatever, highly toxic. Comes back a couple of hours later, and the dog had pulled one out of the ground and had chewed on it and had consumed part of it. Dog was extremely ill.
Really?
As far as I have heard, the dog so far is okay, but I don't know if they've been to the vet.
Maybe you shouldn't call them pups anymore. Maybe that's why.
Maybe that's it. Don't call them pups because the dogs will pick up the pups. But so, the seeds are attractive because they're bright colored. The fronds, like I said, I would have never thought an animal, not
right.
Yeah, they're hard. They're not pleasant. But then again, dogs chew on sticks.
They'll make you bleed.
Yeah, they will hurt you.
Do you know what I hate? Because that little nasty vine is back.
Right.
And it's in one of my sago palms.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And to get it out, I just reach in
and just pull.
Right. And I almost always cut my hand. Mm-hmm. There's always just little tiny cuts.
They're they're sharp. They're not pleasant to work with.
Yeah.
And so just if you were contemplating planting one, maybe you'd think twice. Not only is the problem with your pets, but that the scale issues. And the other, is just if you are pruning or cleaning up around them, get those taken care of and away from where your pets
Right.
would come in contact with them. So don't keep Fido happy, keep him healthy.
By the way, I think somebody with a green thumb has a talent.
Yeah.
But it would be hard to take that talent and bring it to a talent show. So we're promoting this.
Right. Oh, yeah. Ocala's Got Talent. Yeah, it's not going to work.
Well,
like
you'd have to
that.
show like here's the before. It's like cooking on TV where you have
Right.
you have the pie already made.
Right. Here's step by step, and here's the ready baked.
Here's
so
the
you can
tree.
taste it.
Here's
Yeah.
the tree I planted, and here's how I did it.
Here's the final result. Here's the fruit that came off my fruit tree.
Let me go to the phone. You got a
Great.
phone call coming in, and we invite and welcome phone calls 622-9622 if you'd like to call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Oh, good morning, everybody.
Hey.
Morning.
Hey, two questions now. The one little prickly that you were talking about is you're talking about a Smilex?
No, I'm not sure which vine he's got in there.
Smilex is the
The
vine.
Smilex is a
Oh.
vine, but no, it's actually the sago that is really sharp, and they're pokey
Oh.
and they're unpleasant to touch. Actually,
Oh, well, again, and for the Smilex, would you use something like the Roundup grass and weed killer or a brush killer?
I would probably go with the brush killer. I just
Okay.
think you'll get. I think you'll get a longer because trying to get it down into that. The root of the Smilex is huge. If you can get it chased down to an open area where you can get a shovel in there, keep that clear around there. Keep treating those vines until you can start to weaken it, because I don't think you'd actually be able to dig it up real easy when it's still growing vigorously. But then get in there with a shovel and get it dug up, because if you try to pull it up, you might break a piece of it off, but not the whole thing. They grow almost in tubers that are attached to one another, so it's like segments that can break off. So when you're digging it up, I dug up one, it was the size of the garbage can lid.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was just one giant lumpy,
That
and
is
yeah,
huge,
probably weighed 15 pounds or better.
Okay, and my other question? The chemical, I've heard three different ways to pronounce it. Spinosad, spinosad, spimosid.
Spinosad, yeah.
Spimosa, okay. And now, on one of the brands that uses that for the worm killer, it has on there for grapes to spray maximum times is 6 times per season.
Right.
How did they come up with the 6? Suppose you needed to use it 8 times.
You shouldn't need to, and they at the certain point once that's your harvest or your application intervals. You just need to space that out. That you're only allowed to spray at certain time period in between. They don't want you to spray, especially spinosad, if the plant is flowering. You don't want to spray it when pollinators would be visiting, because spinosad, though an organic insecticide, is highly toxic to bees. So that's one reason, and you should only need control in that certain time period. When at the end of the season or when you're getting ready to harvest grapes, who cares if the leaves are being eaten?
Right.
It's not a big deal. So you're going back from that. So you're when you prune them back in, say, January, you have no leaves. You have no leaves in February. March, you have generally no leaves. April is just now becoming leaves. So now you only have April, May, June, July, August. You only have 5 months that you have concern necessarily over a pest issue. And using that with your time period, you should be set within that you would not need to use it more than 5 to 6 times.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, the flea beetle and the flea beetle larvae, I had to spray because on the leaves they were already eating the leaves up, and the flea beetle itself was on the bud, but it seemed to take care of both of them.
Yes. Yeah. It's the spinosad is a really it's a non-selective insecticide. It kills more than one pest. We have very few selective ones, and BT is about the only one that'll do just the caterpillars, but would not have touched your flea beetles.
Right,
So,
okay.
yeah, so go on with the spinosad. But like I said, with that, there's actually on that instructions that it tells you when applying spinosad, do not apply it within 3 hours of pollinators coming into that area, so that it needs to be fully dried and, in a way, starting to break down. You would apply that generally in the evening. And that way you're set with your time period. So, trying to use that like after 7 p.m.
Right, okay. Well, thank you very much for the information. That's
You're
great.
welcome. You're welcome.
Right.
And
You all have a good day.
Thank you.
You too.
Right,
Thank you
bye-bye.
for the call. We have to take a little break, but we do want your phone calls. The number is 622-9622. We will be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. A mix of sun and clouds on this Tuesday with a high of 77 on the coast, 84 inland. Then clear Tuesday night, moonlit skies, lows in the mid and upper 50s inland, 62 along the coast. Wednesday, sunshine and some clouds, high 79 at the coast, 84 inland. Thursday, times of sun and clouds with a high of 80 on the beaches, 86 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. Let's get rid of those sun damaged ends and faded out color and get into something rich and vibrant. It's time to get that new look started. So call today and set up your appointment at Hello Gorgeous Salon, 351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is a certified Brazilian blowout salon. We can tame those locks, leaving your hair healthy and shiny with a Brazilian smoothing treatment. And whether you're going on a job interview or out on a date, your hands do a lot of talking. Manicures are a must. Hello Gorgeous is a full-service salon, so let us help you make a great first impression. Call us today to set your appointment at Hello Gorgeous. Our number is 352-351-5358. Again, that's 352-351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is conveniently located in the heart of downtown Ocala, right next to the historic Marion Theater. And don't forget, we also do men and children's cuts too.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin, the host of In the Garden with Carol Ann. Let me tell you what I use to get away from fertilizing the old-fashioned way. I use Dynamite Premium Plant Food for my flowers and veggies. With its easy, earth-friendly, patented coating, there's no risk of over-fertilizing. Dynamite Premium Plant Food releases food for 6 months, so there are no highs or lows during the growing season. Dynamite Premium Plant Food contains nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, and micronutrients like copper, magnesium, iron, and zinc. This gives my plants explosions of bloom for both flowers and veggies. When I use Dynamite Premium Plant Food, I only have to use it once every 6 months and not worry about the nutrients washing out with heavy rains or irrigation. To learn more about the Dynamite family of products, go to dynamiteplantfood.com. Dynamite Premium Plant Food is so easy to use that you'll spend less time working in your garden and more time enjoying it.
Black Cow composted cow manure is a terrific organic soil amendment. We start with cow manure from dairy farms and then compost it a full 90 days. The result is an all-natural, dark, rich soil amendment that's great for everything you grow. Flowers, vegetables, shrubs, trees, and lawns too. Look for Black Cow in the bright yellow and black bag at your favorite nursery or garden center.
Black Cow, the mature manure, Black Cow.
All right, 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, 63 degrees, beautiful looking Tuesday. Carol Ann Baldwin is here in the garden with Carol Ann. And Carol Ann, you have a phone call.
Great.
Thank you for waiting through the break. You're on the air now with Carol Ann.
Good morning, Carol Ann.
Morning, Sonny.
Good morning. I have some plants that I guess they're considered evergreen. The leaves stay on them year round.
Okay.
And was buying evergreen plant food, and it seems that stuff is getting extremely expensive.
Uh-huh.
A person recommended either a 666 or a 10-10-10.
Okay.
And I can't remember which one would be the better of the two.
When it comes to the 666 and 10-10-10, that's nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And in a 100-pound bag, the 10-10-10 has 10 pounds of nitrogen. In a 100-pound bag, a 666 has 6 pounds of nitrogen. So cost effectively, or how much you would use less of the 10-10-10 than the 6-6-6 for the same amount, for the same effect.
Oh, I see.
So they're both the same stuff, because generally they don't have any other micronutrients or anything else in them.
Right. Well, the problem being is I have like these bare spots coming in, and the leaves on the plants.
Mm-hmm.
It's something like a shillings.
Okay.
And the gardener at the big box store recommended, well, don't pay that much money for the evergreen food. You just go with the 10-10-10 or the 6-6-6, and you just explain there is no difference other than the amount. But
right.
I don't want to poison the plants either by too much fertilizer.
Right. My favorite recommendation, though, again, you're going on a if you're going on a cost thing, I still, there's one out there that's an 8-0-10, or the different manufacturers will manufacture different variations just because they're different manufacturers, but you may find an 8-0-10 or a 10-2-12, something very similar to that, but they usually call it a tree, shrub, and ornamental, or palm and ornamental fertilizer. But when you look at the bag, more than just those three main numbers, the 8-0-10, for example, they contain magnesium, manganese, copper, iron, boron, zinc. Those are also very important to plants. And your 6-6-6 and 10-10-10 generally don't have any of that.
Right.
And,
all right.
Yeah. So I would use
I bought the bag of the stuff, and it's like a 40-pound bag. Mm-hmm. So I feel I'll just have to adjust it. My mixture. One last question is: the gentleman told me put a cup around each plant. Just a couple of this.
Yeah, depending on the size of the plant, you're looking at probably a half a pound, which might be a cup, might be 2 cups. The bags will tell you how much to use around each one based on the size of the plant. But if you have, say, a row of 10 plants, you would figure on using approximately 10 pounds of fertilizer, or 5 pounds now and 5 pounds later. Plants are pretty good feeders, especially if they're having a little bit of a problem.
Right.
And it sounds like yours might be having a little problem. You might want to look a little further into it. Are these mulched areas also?
No.
Okay.
They're not. It's just grass right up to the plant.
Right. Well, be careful. Do you use a weed and feed, or do you have somebody?
I use the weed and feed. Yeah.
Keep it away from the plants. That's could be part of your problem. Don't let your weed and feed get up too close, and when I say too close, within about, I'd say 3 feet of those shrubs. So if you're using an edge guard, right, because the herbicides that are in weed and feeds can be picked up by your shrubs, because what is your shrub but nothing more than a broadleaf weed, and as compared to a lawn.
Right.
And that can actually slow down, stunt, mutate, cause mutation within that shrub. So I would use an edge guard on your spreader and do that to where it's not throwing that weed and feed up underneath there, and then just feed those shrubs separately.
Right. That's what I've been doing, like trying to get under the shrub with the material and spread it around. Mm-hmm. And then I come within 3 feet with the weed and feed, but not directly like in the edge of the root where the roots might be, I guess.
Right.
It stays according to the way people tell me that the roots are roughly where the edge of the plant is.
Well, they actually will expand quite a bit more than that, but most of your feeder roots and things like that are within that little canopy. But you figure if you had not pruned anything on the plant, the size of it would actually show you more of where the roots are. And even a dwarf Schilling's holly, I don't know how big yours are, but they can be 3 or 4 feet across and still have, or even further. And so your root zone actually does continue much further out into the grassy areas.
All righty. Well, I thank you for the information. I appreciate it. And I guess I should read the information on the bags a little more carefully.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're
Have a
welcome.
good
You're
day.
welcome.
Thank
You
you for
too.
the
Thank
call.
you.
Yay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just need a magnifying glass. Sometimes it's
Sometimes
little
the print is small, and it doesn't hurt to even carry a little hand lens in your pocket, in your purse, when you're looking at those things, and check and see. I had a lady come in Saturday, was talking to a couple ladies, and wonderful, nice ladies. I don't know what made me ask the question of what kind of grass or somehow or another, but come to find out in further discussion, this lady put the wrong weed and feed on her grass, or had someone do that. And speaking with her and her friend, trying to resolve her issue, and her friend goes, well, didn't you use this same one last year? She said, yeah. And she said, and you have no grass. She said, yeah. I said,
Oh, no.
You used the wrong stuff the first time,
no.
and you've used it again. Let's see what we can do in order to mitigate the damage you've done. And pretty much what it was going to be was to go home and try to flush that out and off of that grass and past that root zone, but and then begin to bring it
man.
back after the fact. It's a tough one.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
carry the hand lens, read the bag, and after you found something that works well, keep the label. Or take a photograph of it, print the photo, keep it in your garden log, whatever you use to keep track of what you use in your landscape.
And you have another phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Hey, Carol Ann.
morning.
I've got a front yard that is primarily Bermuda grass.
Okay.
Should I use a weed and feed or just a fertilizer on that yard?
You can do either. I mean, if this time of year, I would just use a fertilizer, and if you have a weed issue, just take care of the weeds as they, as you need to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we're here
Somebody told me
into.
one time if I put on weed and feed, it'd kill the Bermuda grass because that was a weed. So
No, actually, in Florida, I'm trying to think whether or not there's one of them. You can't use I think you can't use the bonus S on a Bermuda, but you can use the other
that's
ones.
where I got confused because
Yeah.
someone said, "Well, don't use bonus S." And I thought,
Right.
well,
Yeah, that's the one that would hurt it. I think you're safe with the rest of the weed and feeds. But now that we're into April, late April, actually, I would be looking at just a very basic turf fertilizer and spot spray for your weed issues.
Okay. Do you also recommend core aerating or verticutting on this Bermuda grass?
On Bermuda, I not too many Bermuda lawns out there. I think we got a commercial coming up, but I'll keep going with that if you want to hold on. It's a little bit of a long break, but we'll be right back.
Yeah, we got news in a couple. So if you hang on there, you'll be up after the break, okay?
All right. Thanks.
All right, yeah, just don't go away. All right, and of course, if you'd like to call in, we'll be able to take those calls as well. 622-9622. We'll take a break and be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Primary day in New York State, and we've got a new set of numbers on how the candidates are measuring
For
up.
Hillary Clinton, it looks like this race is going to turn into a nail-biter. This latest poll from NBC News and the Wall Street Journal shows nationally Clinton is at 50% and Sanders at 48%.
Fox's David Lee Miller. Clinton expected to do well in the New York primary. Poll puts Donald Trump at 40%, Ted Cruz at 35%, John Kasich at 24%. Pearl Jam in Boston, the latest rock bands to cancel shows in North Carolina over the controversial law they call discriminatory against transgender people. Meanwhile, a similar bill fails in Tennessee.
Intense lobbying from both supporters and opponents of a transgender bathroom bill has forced the Tennessee state legislature to put off voting on the measure until next year.
Fox Radio's Karen McHugh. Fox News, we report, you decide.
The right way to do things. For us at WeatherTech, it's the only way to do things. I'm David McNeil, founder of WeatherTech. A long time ago, our company had a decision to make about where we wanted to manufacture our floor liners. And to tell you the truth, it wasn't a hard decision. We wanted to manufacture the highest quality, most advanced vehicle floor protection in the world. We also wanted to do our part in helping our neighbors, helping the economy, and protecting the planet we all share. That's why we chose to build our new factories right here in America, using American raw materials, American tooling and equipment, and of course, hiring American workers. So now that you know how much effort we put into doing things the right way, just imagine the kind of detail that goes into the craftsmanship of creating our floor liners. Learn more today about our full line of automotive accessories at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. WeatherTech floor liners, complete protection, completely American made.
We all know the importance of good health, but we may not know the latest advances in medicine that are available to us. Monday at 9 a.m., Bern Paraiso will be our roving medical reporter to tell us about Seven Hill Gastroenterology PA and Dr. Reddy. We'll discuss screening, techniques, and more. So tune in and listen. This is more than news you can use. It's news that could save your life. That's Monday at 9:05 a.m.
Are you still fertilizing flowers and vegetables the old-fashioned way? Then switch to Dynamite Premium Plant Food. The secret to more flowers, bigger blooms, and more vegetables is consistent feeding. Dynamite Premium Plant Food is formulated for our Florida climate and has a unique coating that releases nutrition consistently, so there are no peaks and no valleys. Dynamite is just a terrific product. It even contains the micronutrients plants need in small quantities for maximum growth. With Dynamite, you get an explosion of color, flowers, and vegetables. Dynamite comes in a handy shake and feed plastic bottle. Just one application will last up to 6 months. For more flowers, bigger blooms, and more vegetables, try Dynamite Premium Plant Food today. Look for Dynamite at your Home Depot or Lowe's garden department. Visit on the web at dynamiteplantfood.com.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 840-0750. That's 840-0750.
Black cow, the mature manure black cow.
We often mention enriching your native soil with Black Cow when you prepare a flower bed or vegetable garden, or plant new shrubs and trees. Adding Black Cow helps retain moisture and adds millions of healthy microbes to your soil. Healthy soil means healthy plants, but you can also top dress with Black Cow composted cow manure even after planting. You can come back a month or two later and spread Black Cow on top of the soil around the root zone of a shrub or tree, or spread it evenly over a flower bed or rows of vegetables in your garden. Black Cow releases nutrients slowly. It won't burn tender roots because it's fully composted. Look for the bright yellow and black bag at your favorite nursery or garden center. And visit the website too at blackcow.com.
Black cow, the mature manure black cow.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. The temperature, 67 degrees. Went up 4 degrees in 15 minutes. How about
Warming
that?
up nicely out there.
And Carol, let's return to your phone call. Yeah. And thank you for waiting, sir. You're back on the air with Carol Ann.
Yeah, no problem. We were talking about core aeration versus verticutting on this Bermuda grass.
Right. If you got a Bermuda grass lawn, actually, they just going through what the university's recommendations are. They're not mentioning anything on any of either of those mowing techniques or anything like that. They're really just talking for the homeowner when you're mowing your regular mowing, that a real mower is probably the best mower to use for the Bermuda, and the reasoning is the height of the grass, that it's more easily adjusted down, and ease of keeping those blades sharp enough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that a rotary mower
it's a very aggressive Bermuda grass, and thank God for that. It's taken out most of the weeds. But
right.
It looks like it's getting kind of full of thatch.
Normally, Bermuda does not have a bad problem with thatch, unless it's been allowed to grow too long and then mowing off too much at a time. Because it looks like that the recommendations on the height of Bermuda is about 3/4 to an inch and a half high.
Oh, well, that's been my problem, because I'll let it get 2 or 3 inches, and I'll go out there and whack it.
Right.
No. Twice a week and cut it shorter than that.
Right. And they actually say that sometimes, depending on what your maintenance level is, how much fertilizer you actually want to use, you might be mowing, they say, anywhere between 1 and 3 times a week.
Ooh, I need to change my grass.
Bermuda grass has never really been one recommended. In northern states, it's treated as a weed in a lot of stuff that you can actually go in the stores and buy Bermuda grass control for turf. And here we can't, because they do, unfortunately they do grow a lot of Bermuda, or a lot of people do like to use Bermuda. But go ahead online, and this PDF file comes from Manatee County's Master Gardener one, but I think ours would have it too, or it's in the lawn handbook. But if you go to the Solutions for Your Life website, which is the University of Florida's, and just put in Bermuda grass, and it's going to come up. This one came from Manatee County, or manatee.ifas.ufl.edu, and it will come up, and it will give you your mowing heights, your pest problems, your mowing rates, fertilization, etc., and might be a great little thing to keep in your file.
Super. I really appreciate y'all's show now.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Good. Yep. Enjoy your lawn.
We love the phone calls. We have a gift certificate for Bob Wines. We'll do that later.
Okay.
But I just noticed real quickly on I guess they posted a thing on Facebook and tagged WOCA.
Oh, okay.
I'm just looking at some.
Right.
It's kind of like a mini ad for them. But
Sure.
Gladiole is 59 cents. Is that right?
Well, it's basically because they're probably just the bulb. I would think.
Vegetables, a jumbo 4-pack of tomato, peppers, eggplant, lettuce, cucumbers, zucchini squash, yellow squash, $2.99
for a multi-pack. Is that all they're saying? For a 4-pack? Yeah, they used to be a lot cheaper, but it just
this
seems
time good. I mean, it's cheaper than the grocery store.
Oh, sure. Well, that's what growing your own is. But then again, you're providing the water, the fertilization, and the work. So you get your few.
Do this.
Yeah. Well, we'll get you set up with a garden.
What do I want to do? I want to do lettuce. I'm afraid
lettuce. Well, this time of year on doing vegetables, a lot of this stuff, if it's not already in the ground, it's a little late. Lettuce is about done. It's going to start to get too warm for it, and it what we call it, when you're growing, it bolts, it goes to seed, and when it starts doing that, it starts to get bitter. But even your green beans and things like that, a lot of this stuff's going to keep going. You could probably try to get some squash in and things like that, but like tomatoes, I'm setting fruit on my tomatoes today at the extension office. I did harvest some lettuce, and I did some harvested lettuce, squash, cucumbers, and I have one nice pepper going on my one bell pepper, but I'm waiting because I looked at the text and said, okay, this is supposed to be a yellow bell pepper, but I'm thinking it might not be. I'm seeing a different color coming on that green, and some hot peppers that are starting to make peppers. Tomatoes are coming on. They're not getting any size yet. They're working on it, but.
And yeah, you have a couple phone calls coming in right now, but I wanted to mention that the sheet I just gave you, I printed up, and in the upper left-hand corner, it cut it off.
Right.
But it should say truckload sale citrus trees, bears, lemon, Persian, and lime, $19.99 for $20.
For $20 for
get a citrus tree.
Well, and you look, it says it's a number one. Number one is a 1-gallon pot.
Okay.
It's small.
And that'll take what?
It'll take a couple years before
you start having fruit.
Yeah,
well, that's awesome.
But that's okay. But it's a smaller hole to dig.
All right, let me squeeze in some of these phone calls. Good morning. Thank you for calling and for waiting. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning, Carol Ann.
Good morning.
Yes, I heard you talking about the different types of grass.
Yes.
And the thing is, if you let's say buy or renting, I know the right sod. It's going to be all dirt.
Right.
And I know it's the big trucks, the dumps, and they lay down. Well, actually, it's in rolls.
The rolls of sod.
You roll it out.
Right.
And I know they have roots.
Yes.
But do the roots connect with the ground by itself?
Oh, yeah. When you roll that grass out, or if you had the sheets, the pieces of sod, once you put it down on the ground and begin to water it, it will go ahead and make its roots right down into your soil all by themselves.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
There you go.
Yeah,
Good
it doesn't take a whole lot to establish grass, and I was just actually heard some recommendations the other day on a little less water needed to establish sod in the landscape. They're running it usually the first week is every day, maybe even twice a day, because it's not attached, so that will dry out on that first week. That second week, doing it every other day. And again, depending on the wind and the temperatures, how much you may need to water. If that grass blade's starting to fold, give it that second batch. The third week, you're going to water every third day. So that's using a lot less water than what we used to previously recommend. It used to be every day you watered that thing twice a day, every single day for 30 days. And now those recommendations, that water quantity is coming down, which is good, especially if you do pay a water bill, but also better because you're not going to introduce in as many fungal problems while you're establishing that lawn.
Right.
So.
And you have another phone call.
Great.
You got a lot of calls
Great.
today. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Yes, I heard you mention squash. Can we grow spaghetti squash here?
Yes, you can. You can grow. I think pretty much. I think all of the squashes will grow here. Normally, I would probably be looking at putting it in that mid-March time period, or again in say August or 1st of September.
Okay, so it's too late now, you would say?
I would think so, to try to get it started. We just end up with so much rain and so much fungal issues in that June, July, August time period that trying to get it through that becomes a struggle.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, a lot of the stuff in the garden, like I said, is going now. I've had squash off some of my plants a couple of times now. I think this is my third batch of squash I'm having.
Why is it called spaghetti squash?
Spaghetti squash are one of those hard shell. They're like a winter squash. It's one of the hard shell squashes, not one that you would just slice and saute. But when you cook it, the meat, the squash part, becomes stringy like spaghetti,
really?
and you can actually prepare it using and once it's cooked, put a little marinara on it, a little red sauce,
Really?
and it's very good spaghetti substitute. Very tasty, very tasty, easy to prepare.
And all these doctors say stay away from pasta. So this is
Right, here's something that might give
And
you
is it
that
good?
little bit.
You like it?
It's good, yeah. Actually, the first time I ever had it was at Publix.
Really?
They were making it right there in the store.
We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. A mix of sun and clouds on this Tuesday with a high of 77 on the coast, 84 inland, and clear Tuesday night, moonlit skies, lows in the mid and upper 50s inland, 62 along the coast. Wednesday, sunshine and some clouds, high 79 at the coast, 84 inland. Thursday, times of sun and clouds with a high of 80 on the beaches, 86 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Are you in need need of custom screen printing, embroidery, or promotional items? Then look no further and come visit the brand new Legacy Team Sales. LTS is conveniently located off 17th Street next to Armstrong Homes in beautiful Ocala. We offer the best prices and highest quality products for your company, team, school, or nonprofit. Whether looking for screen printed shirts, embroidered polos, or travel team uniforms, you'll be sure to find it at Legacy Team Sales. Come visit our new 27,000 square foot facility. Our friendly and knowledgeable sales staff will assist you in every part of your custom purchase. LTS carries the hottest brands in the industry like Under Armour, Russell, Mizuno, Asics, Badger Sports, Gildan, Pacific, Ogio, and many more. At LTS, screen printing embroidery is done in-house and we guarantee customer satisfaction. Stop by, give us a call, or check us out on the web at shoplts.com. Remember the name, LTS.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
Black Cow composted cow manure is a terrific organic soil amendment. We start with cow manure from dairy farms and then compost it a full 90 days. The result is an all-natural, dark, rich soil amendment that's great for everything you grow. Flowers, vegetables, shrubs, trees, and lawns too. Look for Black Cow in the bright yellow and black bag at your favorite nursery or garden center.
Black Cow, the mature manure. Black Cow.
Stay informed on everything going on in the villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the villages, news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
All right, 12 minutes before 10 o'clock and 68 degrees here at the studios of The Source, broadcasting live from the Paddock Mall. Carol Ann Baldwin here answering questions and just talking about plants and everything associated. We have a phone call.
All right.
You had a little echo
Yeah,
right there.
did.
Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning, Carol Ann.
Morning.
I have a question. Where you work, they sell the small kale plants. Are those available yet?
Kale, you said?
Yes.
Probably not this time of year. You're going to find kale in the cooler season.
Okay. Okay. And when it comes out, do you know if they have the Lacanto?
I have no idea what varieties they do with the kale because that actually, I'm not picking one over another because they source out every big box store and most other garden centers. Bonnie Farms is who does all the production on that. I don't know really what they grow.
Okay.
When it comes to different varieties. If you're looking for a specific variety, your best way to do it would be to order seed. It's not hard to grow. Yeah.
Okay, well, that sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're doing something, especially if you're looking for a specific variety, because you figure that they're a big producer for a large area, so they're going to grow things that are going to grow in more than one region.
Sounds good.
All righty.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Right. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. And again, the phone line is open. We got a good 10 minutes left if you want to chat with Carol Ann about your lawn, your garden, your plants.
Your plants, whatever, your vegetables. But now here, looking at some of these, this is, they've got they're saying jumbo 4-pack, so that's probably a pretty decent sized plant for $3, normally $3.50.
This is Bob Wines.
This is Bob Wines, right? And I'm not sure. I think theirs are actually independently grown. At least they always were. That they either grew them themselves or they had somebody else.
And what you're looking at is a new flyer that
it's their new ad. I don't know for the month or however, but yeah, they had, because I heard the commercial on the way in, and that they had their truckload citrus sale, which is great. I've been hearing people looking for lemon trees and things like that, and this would be a good time to pick one up. And a small 1 gallon or 3 gallon fruit tree, especially something like a citrus tree, they're going to take a couple years before they're going to do any good production anyway. So why have to dig a big hole when you can dig a smaller hole and put it in? Our citrus really doesn't need any soil amendment, to get them established. They grow in our sandy soils. If you really, really wanted to, don't amend just the hole. Amend the area that will be planted. So when you dig the sod out, because you also don't want grass growing under those either, you're going to dig all that out there. You might throw a 5-gallon bucket full of a good garden mix or the black cow or your other favorite, your own home compost. And then as you're digging your hole, that's going to mix, but it's also over that whole area. Because if you plant it properly, you take that out of the pot, you work those roots out, and you put it in there, planted properly, watered properly. 6 months from now, those roots are no longer in that 3-gallon size area. They're now out 4 feet. Or they're reaching out there, and all that amendment that you would have put in if you had just thrown it in the bottom of the hole is just a waste of time and effort and money, really. So amend the entire area, but do not mulch your citrus. They do not like to be mulched. They do not like wet feet. So again, when establishing, don't lay the garden hose on there and walk away and go prune roses. Give it a drink of water, shut the water off, and go do another task. It only takes a few minutes to put 1 or 2 gallons of water on a small plant, and you just need to water where that root ball was. And you're going to do that over a period of a few weeks. Again, cutting back. You might do that. You might put a quart of water on it every day for the first week, and then maybe a half gallon of water on every other day for the next week, and then cut back down to, say, a quart of water every third day. And it should get itself established without a big issue.
Well, and real quick, and sort of just shifting subject a little bit, in that 4x4 garden that you've talked about before, and looking at those prices on the Bob Wine's flyer, it occurred to me that you could fill up that 4x4 garden really affordably.
And not too bad, really. And if you think about, some things aren't on this list here, aren't something that you would have to start by plant. You could buy a small envelope of seed for, say, $1.50, and you'll have enough seed. If you once you plant your seed, you fold up the what's left over, because you won't use the whole packet. Put them in a baggie or some kind of jar and put them in the bottom drawer of your refrigerator. You will have them for the following year or the following season.
Okay, so how much time do you save yourself if you just go ahead and buy the little baby plant?
About 6 weeks.
Wow. Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, about 6 weeks. Especially if, say, like my tomatoes have been in the ground. I started from seed back in mid-January. Mid to end of January, I think, is when I started, between my peppers and my tomatoes. And so I babied them along, but that was the off season. They weren't going to go in the ground anyhow. And so you could say I planted the garden the 12th of March from these same type of thing, the little seedling. So I was starting from that. And that's where you start counting your days. If your tomato seed packet or the little stake on your tomato says it's 54 days to day of harvest, it's from the time you put it in the ground. That it will be 54 days that you should have.
So if you buy a little plant.
If you're buying a little plant, you're getting
you're taking away
you're taking
almost all of that.
Yeah, you're taking a month and a half of the preparation, and then you put your transplant in and it grows. Now your squash and things like that, if you're going to when you put those in the ground from seed, it might tell you, say, 72 days. It's from the time it comes up on those, and they're nice big seeds. Usually big seeds go directly in the ground. I too like to start those inside, because I just like the head start of the plants being healthy and strong. I can control the fertilizer a lot more, as well as pest issues while they're small and inside. Put them in the ground, nice big plant pops up. I'm getting a harvest quick before the borers and all the rest of the bugs come in and attack mine.
So we've got a $20 gift certificate to Bob Wine's.
Great.
First person who well, maybe not the first person, but if I see the thing light up over here, I'll just push one at random, and we'll give this one away. But what would you? $20. I'm looking at that flyer. You could buy a lot of stuff.
$20 are a lot of different things you could
And these
you
are,
could do.
These certificates are plants only, so you can't really
Right,
use
you
this
can't
for
you can't use
okay.
it on the pine straw or any of the fertilizers or anything like that. But they've also got raspberries and guavas, kiwis. That's a W, not a V. Grapes, pomegranates. They've got roses. They've got you name it. They've got all different. Quite a variety. Great nursery to go to. They've been around for a long time, so they know what they're doing in the nursery business. So
I picked somebody at random, and let me just go to that phone call. Good morning. You've got the $20 gift certificate to Bob Wines. Who's this?
This is Mark. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mark, do you know where we are?
Yes, sir. The Paddock Mall.
Yes, sir. I'll write your name on the bottom here, and you come by and pick it up.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah, I was amazed when I was looking at the flyer because I don't know how much things cost.
Right, and actually, looking at this, I've heard of a couple people go and why don't you have camellia bushes at where I'm at? And it's kind of like, well, because unless people know what they're going after, people won't buy them unless they're budded or blooming or they're seeing them in a landscape. But they've got some 1 gallon or number 1 size pot camellias going for $9.99. That's a great price. I mean,
good.
It's a small
and
plant.
And if I remember what it said something about shade or
sun and shade loving. So they have both the japonicas as well as the.
That's what that means.
The other I'm gonna my brain's not gonna let me say the other one, but yeah, So you have both varieties to look at, and if you've been wanting a camellia, it's a little one, but they do grow. Everything will grow. Take care of it right, and it's going to grow for you.
Just to make sure those roots are the way you said, because that was the mistake we made, right?
It may have been a little bit, and it just with where they
we planted it,
where it got planted,
Doug and I planted it. Might have been a bad place.
It might not have been the most ideal location. How's that one instead of a bad place?
Do you know what I remember about that? What was silly? All right, you remember Doug and I went out to plant it, right? Well, I was wearing my glasses and they weren't really secure on my head.
Oh.
So they fell into the hole that I was digging, and I said, "Oh, look at that, I found a pair of glasses." And Doug said, "Oh, wow." And he didn't realize they were mine. So I picked them up, and they were dirty, so I brushed them off, put them back in my face, and then they fell in again. I said, "Look at that, there's another pair of glasses."
You're sprouting glasses in that bottom of that hole. That's the thing. That was what you were supposed to be growing, was eyeglasses.
Funny what you remember.
Yeah.
Funny what you remember from stuff.
Oh, yeah. But that's a good one.
That's a long time ago.
That was several years ago.
I'm telling you, you've been doing this show for a long time.
For a while.
I know you don't like me to brag about you, but you're amazing.
I enjoy the show. I hope the listeners pick up some information.
She does it for free.
Yeah, I do.
And she needs to be the agriculture lady of the year.
I don't.
Why not? Why not?
I'm not.
Who could,
I don't do cattle and other things. I don't have a farm. I just work.
Yeah. How much do you get paid? The information you give every week.
Every week, I don't know. Ask the county what we're valued at as volunteers.
It's got to be something.
But
there's got to be somebody has got to have some moment on the stage where you get to say, "I'd like to thank my mother and my father."
The high school that wouldn't let me take the horticultural
Larry,
courses.
I'd like to thank Larry for
and
answering
Joe
the phone for me.
And Joe for letting us have the show
right, that's
here.
right,
And Stan for making me a great theme song. And
that's right.
And all the listeners for their calls in, because if it weren't for you, we wouldn't have a show. And don't forget, too, if you're on Facebook, hunt up the group page. It's a group page. It's in the garden. Just ask to be a member. I got to figure out how to make it public, but you ask to be a member, I'll click yes. But don't try to sell anything, or I will click get you out of here.
There you go. Keep a sharp on it, yes.
That's right.
Always fun, Caroline. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Larry.
All right, we will be right back. Matt Gibbs is up next, talking about cars.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Polls suggest that Republican Donald Trump will win his party's primary in New York State, and he hopes he will too, saying opponent Ted Cruz doesn't love New York.
Cruz refused to give money for Hurricane Sandy to New York, and he's really voted against New York a lot.
he does not like New York, and he doesn't like New Yorkers. That's when he brought up New York values, like in disgust.
Speaking to Fox and Friends, Democrat Hillary Clinton expected to defeat Bernie Sanders.
Trump needs a decisive victory to capture all 95 Republican delegates that will help him avoid a contested convention. On the Democratic side, 247 delegates are at stake. Under a complex formula, they are awarded proportionately.
Fox's David Lee Miller. Authorities in Brussels investigating information that suggests ISIS sent more fighters to Europe. Head of the Belgium Security Threat Analysis Center says the country remains at its second highest alert level. Fox News, we report, you decide.
The right way to do things. For us at WeatherTech, it's the only way to do things. I'm David McNeil, founder of WeatherTech. A long time ago, our company had a decision to make about where we wanted to manufacture our floor liners. And to tell you the truth, it wasn't a hard decision. We wanted to manufacture the highest quality,